Hello, everybody. At this time, we are talking about a non profit organization or NPO. A non profit organization is an entity that is created and operated for charitable or socially beneficial purposes rather than to make a profit. A non-profit might serve religious, scientific, charitable, educational, literary, health, or animal welfare purposes. And then, what is the difference between an NPO and NGO? The terms NPO and NGO or non governmental organization are also often used interchangeably, but they have some key differences. NGOs are separate from the government and require no government council, but depend on the government for funding by means of government grants. However, most NGOs are also non-profit organizations and those have non-profit status. And then how non-profit organizations operate. Non-profit organizations play an important role in shaping the community or communities that they serve. Revenue and cash flow are critical for any organizations, including NPOs. While labor contributions by volunteers may be significant, there are administrative costs to sustain any organization's daily activities. It is also costly to conduct programs to further the organization cause. Non-profit organizations source funds via donations from individuals, businesses, and foundations. NPOs may also receive sponsorship for specific projects from the private sector and government contributions, as well as generate funds via the sale of merchandise and services. Overall, revenues collected must pay for goods or services to beneficiaries, financing community projects, administrative expenses, and fundraising costs. And then we move to types of non-profit organizations. There are many types of non-profit organizations especially in Indonesia, each serving different societal functions. There are the most common, the first charitable organizations focused on education, religion, science, and charity. Donations are often tax deductible. And then, second, private foundation, typically funded by a single source and focused on grant making activities. Third, social welfare organizations aim to promote social well being like civic leagues, advocacy groups, etc. Fourth, business leagues and chambers of commerce promote business interests and economic development. And fifth, labor and agricultural organizations support the interests of workers or farmers. And then we move to characteristics of NPO management. A non-profit organizations requires a different managerial approach as its practices in profit-oriented corporations. Probably the most important difference is the diverging motion of success. For most NPOs, success is not measured in numbers or revenue, and often success is not directly measurable, since NPOs measure their success in impact and not in profit. Standing up to certain principles, for example, can be regarded as success without requiring revolutionary development, like in the fields of humanitarian help or environmental protection. When it comes to controlling, the challenge is therefore developing measurements with which to measure success, while within NPOs, revenue streams also need to be monitored. Specialist controlling is still much more important. The classic tool set of controlling therefore needs to be expanded to non-profit organizations. This is the only way that the worth of its activities can truly be comprehended. The efficient use of the oftentimes sparse financial resources and workforce also play an important part. Since many non-profit organizations' members are not employed in their organizations and instead work as volunteers and unpaid workers, the personnel policy is not able to fall back on bonus payouts and salary increases. Instead, the corporation must awaken the intrinsic motivation of its employees, for example, by highlighting the social importance of the corporation. In finance management, fundraising plays an essential role, since NPOs rely on donations and sponsors to stay above water as opposed to profit-oriented corporations. And then we move to benefits of starting a non-profit organizations. There are common benefits of operating a non-profit organizations. The first benefit, positively contribute to the society. Starting a non-profit organization is an excellent opportunity to make a positive impact in your community. You can assist people and provide them with essential resources. A non-profit allows you to use your talents, experiences, and skills to improve other people's, and this can be a self-working experience. And then second, enjoy lasting relevance. Operating a non-profit organization allows you to make lasting contribution to your community. You can create a legacy by working towards long-term goals and objectives that aim to improve the lives of others. Non-profit organizations can help people and generate revenue even if the founders leave. Non-profit organizations also help create awareness around you and your services. It grants you exposure and makes you more credible to potential business partners. And then we move to sources of funding for non-profit organizations. Non-profit organizations rely on a diverse array of funding sources to sustain their operations and achieve their mission. One of the most common sources is individual donations, which can range from small contributions from community members to substantial gifts from philanthropists. Fundraising events such as galas or charity runs are also popular methods for generating individual support while simultaneously raising awareness about the organization's cause. I think it is enough. Thanks for watching.